Hello children, so today we are going to learn the new chapter of EVS. So do you know children, when you will take the food, you all love the food, I know. So when we will take the food, what would happen after that? I'm sure most of you don't know about the concept. When we will have the food, after that what would happen? So today we are going to learn about this concept. So in this chapter it is given the information about the food. When we will take the food inside, when we eat the food, after that what would happen? When we once swallow the food, after that what would happen inside the body? How does the food gives the energy to the body? So that's all the things we are going to learn in this chapter. So you know that I'm talking about your chapter 12, the journey of food. So in this journey of food, the journey of food takes place start from the mouth, isn't it? So because we are taking the food from the mouth, by the help of mouth, we are taking the food, we are eat the food, then the journey begins. Then what would happen if once the journey begins? Which all organs involved in this process? Okay, and how this food is used by our body, which we are taking, which we are eating. Okay, so that's all we are going to read in this chapter. So now just look at just have a look here children. Here it started with your Saina's talk. So one day Saina, inside her classes, Saina know we all have taking the food for our survival, isn't it? So Saina think the same. So Saina remember what she studied in the last class. So Saina said that we taking the food, we are eating the food for our survival because it gives us energy for to do various works or day-to-day works, and it helps us to the growth of all round body, isn't it? So when we take the food, it provides the energy to do various work, as well as it help to the growth of all round body, all round development, okay, of our body. Then Saina wonder that how the food, if we eat, then how does our body used that food? Okay, so that answer, to search to find out that answer, we are going to read this chapter. Then here it is, when children we take the food, when we eat food, it cannot be used directly by our body. Okay, so it has to be broken down into a simple form where our body never gets use the food directly. Okay, so whenever we eat some food, so our body, in that our body organs there breaking the food to make it into, to give it simple form so that our body can utilize that food. Then this process of breaking down food into a simple form so that our body can easily use that food to give the energy, to give us energy, to provide energy, as well as to give the to give the growth of our body. So this process is called your digestion, children. So when the breaking down food into a simple form so that it can be used by our body, so this is called your digestion. Okay, then this is not a simple process, children, as it is a complex process, as it involves more than one body organs. So it starts with our first body organ, which is your mouth. Then you can see the picture, you can have a look here. Then after, it involves the food pipe, stomach, large intestine, small intestine. Okay, so these all organs helps in our body, helps the food to give the simple form so that our body can utilize it. Okay, so just have a look here. Next, what is given, if we eat the food, then by the mouth we are eating, you all know that we eating we are taking the food first by help of mouth. Then you know that in the mouth it consisting our teeth and tongue. So without the tongue also we cannot talk also, isn't it? So like teeth. So teeth, what is the work of teeth then in the digestion process? So the work of teeth is it break down the food into a small pieces. Okay. Then various kinds of teeth you have already read in your previous classes in your standard 4. Okay, and how it help and used in different purposes, the different 4 kinds of teeth. Okay, then moving towards the another organ which is present in our mouth, which is called your tongue. So what is the work of tongue? You can see in the next slide. So tongue is a fleshy organ in the mouth, which helps to taste and move the food, because the tongue having the taste buds. So tongues consisting the taste buds. So tongue is a fleshy organ which is present in the mouth and which help to move the food and taste the food. We can identify the food taste by the taste bud which is present in our tongue. Okay, so like different taste. So you can see that you just have a look in the screen. Taste bud, it is shown in the like yellow mark or yellow dotted. You can see in the small picture the square angle which is shown that taste buds. Okay, so that taste bud present in our tongue. Okay, so now just moving towards the next slide here. So what is the work of the taste bud and the role of the tongue? So by the help of that taste bud which is present in our tongue, which help to identify the different food taste like your sweet, sour, bitter and salty. Okay, so then moving towards the next slide. Then after, do you ever think, children, when we take or when we eat some carbohydrate foods like your chapati, rice, okay, potatoes, so this all, why is it feel or why is it give the taste like sweet? So before that, I just want to tell you another concept. What would happens when we see or think of our favorite foods? I'm sure you all give the same answer whenever we will see or think, whenever we will imagine our different or favorite food items, our mouth start watering. So what is the meaning of that watering? So we can see that this watering, or we can say that the saliva come out from the mouth. So this saliva is called here, it is a watery fluid which is discharged or released from that taste buds which is present in our tongue. Okay, so whenever suppose we chew some food, whenever we take some food, then saliva first, this watery fluid or saliva first release from the taste buds and which mix with the food items and it moisten it. Okay, it's sweeted, it moisten, it makes the soft that food. Okay, and these watery, then after you can see in the picture, we can that these salivary glands, from that the saliva release or saliva comes out. You can see that salivary glands where that the saliva or the watery fluid comes out. Okay, so then after you just all of you just mark the symbol of that pink color symbol, which is, I can tell you, that is the food items, or that is the food item. Suppose we are taking any food items inside the mouth, that is shown or that is reflected by that pink color things or substance in the picture. Okay, so then after you can see, moving to the next one. So whenever I told you, whenever we have take any carbohydrate food, so why is it give the taste of sweet taste? Because due to the reason behind it, whenever we take any carbohydrate food like chapati. So first saliva, this watery fluid saliva released from that salivary glands, and it mix with the food and it moistenate, it makes it soft and smoothens. Then one important thing, always remember children, enzyme is present in the saliva. Okay, so in our saliva enzyme is present, and that enzyme, when it mixes with carbohydrates food, it turns into sugar. Okay, so when enzyme, you can see in the picture, enzyme which mix with carbohydrates, it's turned into a simple sugar. Okay, and that makes the food taste sweet. Okay, so this is the first step of the digestion of the food. Here the journey begins from the mouth. Okay, so when it involves the teeth, your tongue, okay, and the taste buds which release, and salivary glands, okay, which release the saliva which makes the soften the food, then it and give the taste of sweet, then we swallow it, that food. After that, from the mouth we swallow it. Okay, when then the tongue rolls the moist food into a ball and pushes it to the back of the mouth where it is swallowed. Okay, you can see that, you can substance, pink color substance, how it is going from the mouth to the through the food pipe. Okay, we swallow, so that food ball goes by the food pipe. Okay, you can see the picture, that pink color substance which is shown in the picture, see that. Okay, then moving towards the next screen, by you can see how it is going through the food pipe to the stomach. Where does it reach? From the mouth to the through the food pipe, that semi churn mixture or that food ball is goes through the food pipe and reach to the stomach. Okay, so then after, what would happen? Then that it is churned, this semi-fluid mixture or that food ball in that stomach, in the stomach wall, it secretes some, it means it release some digestive juices. Okay, it release from that stomach wall, it release some digestive juices which further break, which help into further breaking of the food into a simple form. Okay, which release, which by mixing with that digestive juice and which release from that stomach wall, which mix with the semi churn mixture of food ball, and it helps to turn into a more simple form. Okay, so then after, you can see that how the food, that pink color size and the shape of that ball is changing. You can see in the picture, different picture, you can see that how the pink color, that food ball or semi churn mixture of the food, how it is changing its shape when it is mixed with the digestive juices which is secrete from the stomach wall. Okay, you can see the shape of that. Okay, shape of that food ball, how is it changing? Okay, you can see how it is become from the semi-fluid to fluid structure. Okay, then after, this partially digested food from the stomach enters to the small intestine. Here it is completely digested by the digestive juices. Here it is going, here it is preparing that fluid food structure going to the through the small intestine. Here it is going, you can see that how it is going, entering to the small intestine, this fluid structure. Then after, the blood, what is the work of the blood? The blood absorbs the nutrients from the digested food, because here in the stomach, in that stomach, the foods are turn into the from the semi-fluid to the fluid structure here, and then that digested food that absorbs the nutrients to take them to the different parts of the body to gives us energy. Okay, the blood absorbs the nutrients from that digested food and send it to different parts of our body where we are getting the where it gives us energy. Okay, So then after you can see that the non-absorbed or undigested food from the small intestine, it goes to the large intestine. Okay, so from the small intestine it goes to the large intestine. How you can see the picture of large intestine, that blue, like your the fluid picture, which is again that I will say that it is reflected in the color of pink symbol. Okay, pink color mark, dotted spotlight symbol. Okay, how it is going to the large intestine, it moving towards the large intestine. Then here the water is absorbed from the food in the large intestine. What would happen when it is goes from the small intestine to the large intestine? What would happen here? The water absorbed from the food and it makes the solid waste. Okay, the whatever waste from the digested food, the water is absorbed from the food, and the remain the solid waste expelled out, come out from the body as the feces through an opening which is called your anus. You can see that how it is moving through the large intestine as a form of solid waste, then it is keep on moving, then it is reach to the near to the anus, then it is expelled out, come out through the one of the body organ is called anus from our body. It is coming out from the body. Then after children, that's all about your digestive, how the foods are getting digested in our body. And that's all your journey of food. Then after, some of the tips are here for the good digestion. Okay, so some of the tips are given to for the food, or we can have when we apply, or when we apply these tips, when we follow these tips, then we can have a good digestion of the food. Okay, so your first steps are, we should avoid dining after 9. Okay, so that we should not go to the bed with a full stomach. So we should have a food before the 9. Okay, so before, we should avoid the food, taking food in the late night. Okay, then we should eat a small bites. Okay, and chew the food very well. Okay, in a well manner we should chew the food, and we should have the food in a small bite so that we can digest properly. Then we should drink a lots of water during the day. And why? Because the water helps in the digestion of food properly. Then we should sit or walk slowly for at least half an hour after a meal. We should not take a meal after immediate taking a meal. We should not go for a sleep. Okay, we should sit or walk slowly. So we should not sleep with a full stomach for a better digestion of food. And we should include the roughage food. I have already said, without cooked food or raw foods in our diet, because it helps to move food within the body and eliminate waste. For the better digestion, we should include the roughage in our diet. So what all you will learn in this chapter, children? So you learn these, which process we call the digestion. The digestion is the breaking down of the food into a simpler form so that our body can use it, is called your digestion. So during the digestion, the body organs involves like your mouth, food pipe, stomach, small intestine and large intestine. So from it begins with your mouth. So mouth, it consists of teeth and tongue. Then teeth, what is the work of the teeth? Teeth break down the food into a small pieces. And what is the work of tongue? Tongue is a fleshy organ, and it helps the food to move and to identify the different taste. Okay, and then saliva is released from the salivary glands, which is a watery fluid and produced in the mouth, and it breaks down the carbohydrates present in the food into sugars. Then this process of digestion starts in the mouth. Then from the mouth it goes to the stomach through food pipe. Then stomach churns the food and digests the food further. Then from the stomach the food passes, this semi-fluid structure passes to the small intestine. Then for further digestion. From then digestion ends with your, from that small intestine it goes to the large intestine where the water is absorbed and the solid waste goes through the faces called anus, and it released out, all the solid waste released out from the body, come out from the body. Okay, then digestion ends with in a small intestine. So undigested food from the small intestine goes into the large intestine, and in the large intestine, so I have already said, water is absorbed from the undigested food and it is then converted into the solid and it is given out, come out from the faces through anus. So children, I hope you all have understood this chapter in a well manner. So that's all given in the chapter, children. So thank you children, have a good day.